Hello everyone, my name is Guy Costin, and if you're watching this video, you have just joined Dakota. And I wanted to, number one, welcome you to the company, and number two, walk through the history of the company. So Dakota was founded in 2006. And what we do for a living is we raise money for money managers. And the two products, and I'll tell you a funny story of how we founded the company. When we started the company, I'd worked in Phoenix in 2005 for a real estate firm. And I came up with an idea for, it's called a real estate fund of funds. So we launched our company, it's actually called Penn Square. And it was the Penn Square Global Real Estate Fund 1 was our first product. And that we launched that in the fall of '06. And it was myself and a partner who's not here anymore. Simultaneously, Alan Breed of Edgewood Management invited me up to New York City to interview with him. And he looked over and he said, listen, I know you're doing your real estate thing. Would you also raise capital for our mutual fund if we paid you? And I said, absolutely. What do you think the deal should be? So we cut our deal, and that was in October of 2006. We have the same deal today. And back then, Edgewood had a $25 million mutual fund. So they had $25 million in assets in their mutual fund. And since that time, we've grown that today to $26 billion. So it's been some extraordinary growth. Now, the Penn Square Real Estate business, Penn Square Real Estate 1 and Penn Square Real Estate 2, were two funds that we did, and that business for us, as we sit here at Dakota today, ended at the end of 2009. So back to kind of the founding. So we founded the company. Tracy Rogers, who you know, joined in the summer of 2007. And then Dan DiDomenico, our president, joined in the summer of 2008, really as our first salesperson, where he had spent 7 years at Vanguard. So from 2006 to 2016, we built a business where what we do for a living is investment firms, instead of having salespeople as employees, they hire us as an outsourced sales and marketing team. So we provide, as Dakota in the history, we provide the sales, the marketing, the client service. Tracy primarily does the client service. Now, we started with Edgewood in 2006. We added Hamlin Capital Management in late 2009, early 2010. Edgewood manages, and I'm going to discuss this in other videos, Edgewood manages a 22 stock, large cap growth portfolio. So companies that you would know like Google and Amazon and PayPal, a lot of companies that are growing very quickly. Hamlin, on the other hand, invests in value stocks, which are more dividend oriented, aren't growing as fast, but they pay a dividend. And when we joined with Hamlin in 2010, today we've raised them about $2 billion. So throughout 2011, 12, and 13, we were on a pretty aggressive growth path where we added a lot of different investment firms to try to raise money for them as well. Some have worked out, some have not worked out. So today as we sit, all through those 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, we worked with a lot of different firms. Simultaneously, in 2011, we formalized our sales process called the Dakota Way. So our whole process of raising capital, the Dakota Way was founded and really established in 2011, formalized as Tim Dolan joined in 2011, and Ryan, Andrew O'Shea, as well as Chris O'Grady joined in 2014. We basically started to train them under the Dakota Way sales process. So that was 2011. Then throughout the 2000s, we worked with a lot of firms, but then we started to shed a lot of those firms because it didn't make sense. And just remember, investment firms hire us to do their sales and marketing. That's really the premise of what we do for a living. Now, in 2016, I had an idea. I read about 4 different business books, one called Modern Monopolies, one called Exponential Organizations, another called Platform Revolution and Platform Scale, so 4 books. And so what I wanted to do is create a platform for Dakota. And the thesis was, right now in our business, in order to go out and sell and market what we do for a living, it's very time consuming. You travel the country, you tell the same story over and over and over again. The people who are analyzing you ask all the same questions. And our thinking was, what if we just took all that content, put it onto one platform, so those due diligence analysts could log in and look at all of our information on their own time. We'd create video, we'd create narratives, do podcasts, everything. So we invested, we built a platform. The platform launched on June 27th of 2018. We had 14 paying customers at that time. And so, but the premise was that they would drive their users to our platform. And so throughout July and early August, no one came to the platform. And they kept asking questions like, where's everybody? I thought you were going to drive us all of these people. Well, guess what? No one came. And so I said to the sales team, I said, okay, this is a big problem. We have 14 paying customers. They're paying us $5,750 a year to be on our content platform. Back then it was called Dakota Network. Well, what we ended up doing was I said, listen, to the sales team, what if we invited those 14 people, plus the prospects in our database, invited them to listen to one of our sales calls. So just like we do, you've probably been part of it, you're going to be part of it, our 8:30 call. I just said, what if we just invite those 14 people to listen to our call? So we did just that. August 24th of 2018 is when we did our first Dakota Live call. People logged into a conference line and we just did our meeting and they listened. Well, what happened after that, the next day, everyone was thrilled, they loved it, they wanted to listen to the next call the next week. So the next week we did it, however, that was August 31st, we choreographed it. So instead of just listening to our sales call, we invited a chief investment officer to come on and we'd interview them. We cover a city, so for instance, if you're going to Boston, who are all the institutional investors you want to meet with in Boston? Then we cover 2 key accounts, go through in depth into those key accounts. Well, what ended up happening is people loved it, and so we did it week after week after week. The problem with that was it was very successful. We actually were signing people up just for the Dakota Live call, not even to be part of the content platform. Here's the interesting thing. They all then end up saying, hey, we want the names, the phone numbers, the email addresses of all those people that you talk about on the Dakota Live call. And we said, that's our database. That's our Salesforce.com database. We can't sell you access to that. But I did say to the team, I said, well, what if we did sell them access to our database? What do you think about that? And what ended up happening is the sales team agreed to let us do that. So October 1st of 2018 is the date that we started building our private label platform, took all of our data from Salesforce, put it into a platform called Sugar, which is Dakota Marketplace today, and that launched on April 1st of 2019. That's how Dakota Marketplace was born. It was actually born out of the Dakota Live call because people wanted all that information. So today we are referring to Dakota Marketplace as our membership site. And so all that content that we created in Dakota Live calls, all the content that we have in Salesforce.com, we put it all in one place in Dakota Marketplace so our members can log in and view that information in a very easy way. Where we sit today and kind of as we've come full circle, we now act as basically one big consultant for investment firms. In some cases, the consulting revolves around us doing sales and marketing client service for their firms. In other cases, we supply information, data, insights. We have a Salesforce app where they can tie their Salesforce to our Dakota Marketplace accounts and contacts. And at one point during our history, we were working with 16 different investment firms. Right now, we work with 6. So we work with Edgewood Management, Large Cap Growth. We work with Spyglass Capital Management, who came out of Edgewood Management in 2015 and formed a separate firm. They do mid-cap growth. We work with Hamlin Capital Management, where they manage dividend stocks. We work with Hardman Johnston, which Hardman Johnston, the big distinction there, that's actually our mutual fund. We put their name on it, but we actually technically own the fund, and they've grown from 1 million to just under 50 million today. They're a firm that's based up in Greenwich, Connecticut, and manages international stocks, so international growth stocks. So look a lot like Edgewood. Edgewood just does stocks that are domiciled in the US. Hardman just does stocks that are domiciled in Europe and emerging markets. Additionally, we work with a firm called Matterhorn, which is a direct lending strategy, and we can talk more about that on a different call. And we work with a firm called Millennium Bridge, which is a private equity fund of funds. Today, as a company, we're over 35 employees with a very fast-growing fundraising business and also a fast-growing data business, software, consulting, all the different things to help connect investment firms with investment allocators. So that's the history of the firm, founded in 2006. The through line is all the same, is that we connect investment firms with institutional allocators. Every single service we provide has that one through line. So basically think of us, we are connectors. Sometimes we do the physical connecting, in other cases we supply you data so you can make the connection yourself. So that's the history of Dakota. Welcome to Dakota. We're thrilled to have you, and have a great day.